Hey everyone, I'm Jenny Robertson, the founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. I'm here to introduce Kathryn Yarborough, our speaker at our Connections Over Coffee gathering this morning. We're filming we're videoing, we're filming the speaker portion of our meeting today. And Kathryn is speaking on growing your dream business is like going on a trip. As a vibrant speaker coach and manifesting clients mentor, Kathryn Yarborough teaches women entrepreneurs how to be authentically vibrant speakers who manifest clients and grow their dream business. She's the founder of the Manifesting Clients Academy, an inspirational speaker, and a best-selling author. And you can see Kathryn's links in the text of this video. So Kathryn, you are on.
My friends, I have a question for you, and that is, who besides me, by a show of hands, who besides me wants 2023 to be your best business year ever? If you want 2023 to be your best business year, okay, fantastic. I'm so glad that I am not alone. I would love to hear from a few of you right now. If you're willing to share, just a couple of you, what would that look like for 2023 to be your best business year ever? I know for me, it means that I love what I'm doing. I have all the clients I want. I'm making a really good income, and I'm feeling like I'm on purpose doing what I'm here to do. So anybody got something like that you're willing to share? Raise your hand, unmute yourself. What is 2023? Yeah, Mary Jane, what's 2023 look like if it's your best business year ever?
That I have overcome all technology challenges that a human being could possibly do. If it's on them, it's on them, but at least I'll have my act together and not double book. And that's one thing. I'll have a continuous stream of revenues, more than one, coming in between my books being purchased, by classes, my one-on-ones, and speaking opportunities.
Excellent. I love it. Thank you so much, MJ. If you can mute yourself again, that would be great.
Yep.
So best year ever means get over tech difficulties. Anybody else relate to having any kind of difficulties, whether they're tech or something else with your business that you'd like to get over? Yeah. Okay. I often get confused and not confused, but uncertain. Should I go this path or that path? I'd like to get over all of that stuff so I can just move forward, whether it's tech or something else. And I loved a continuous stream of revenue, different sources. Sounds good. Who else besides MJ wants a continuous stream of revenue? Yes, yes, yes. So 2023 is our best year ever. Before I move on, is there anyone else who's willing to share? I'd love to hear if there's any other perspective about what 2023 looking like your best year ever might include. If it's something we haven't said, raise your hand if you're willing. Okay, last person, Mary Perry, share.
So yes, to all of the above, which you all said. However, I also want to add that for 2023, I want to feel that my consistent inspired actions help me move into that beautiful energy of the dream business and most successful year ever. I still have a problem with that. So I want to overcome that. I'm not as consistent as I would like to be.
I love that. Thank you very much for adding that, Mary. If you could mute yourself, that would be great. So consistent, inspired action that keeps you moving forward, because when we do that, we feel good about ourselves. I have a message that I tell myself. It's got several different affirmations. I kind of memorize it. And I added a new line recently, which is that at the end of the day, I feel good about what I did and how I did it. And it's bringing up that feeling of the actions and anyway, that is right. So thank you for adding that to the conversation, Mary. All right. We are looking at together how growing your dream business is like going on a trip. And I'm going to say like going on a trip in your car. If you have not yet gotten my book, Keep Moving Forward, a guide for the On Purpose Solopreneur, you'll see on the front, it's a car, because I use this metaphor. I put the link in the chat for those of you who were here. how to get this book on Amazon. I've had over 33 people post 5-star reviews on Amazon and comment about how good this book is for on-purpose solopreneurs. So I recommend getting it, and I'm going to explain what's in it. And if you want more, you can get the book. Lots of great exercises, as well as the content. Okay. So what we were just talking about, that question about what if 2023 could be your best business year ever, brings up the feelings and ideas associated with the term dream business, right? When you think about that stuff, it's like, ooh, that feels good. If 2023 could be my best year ever, ooh, there's these mind-opening possibilities that show up. So I invite us to know that when I refer to dream business, that's what I'm talking about. I think our on-purpose businesses are our dream businesses for the majority of us. You are called to do what you do when you fully realize that calling and have all the clients that you want. Elizabeth was talking about her deep desire to have all the clients that she wants so she can really make a difference. Gosh, it feels good. It feels so good because we're fulfilling that calling, that purpose. And then when we add that we're getting paid, which was talked about before I started speaking, Mary Jane referred to it with having a continuous stream of revenue. We add that to it. Oh, life is really good. So my friends, I came up with this metaphor that growing your dream business is like going on a trip in your car with the driver, 3 passengers, and the trunk in the car, because you got a trunk in your car. I'm going to explain what I mean by that metaphor. Then I'm going to ask you a series of questions that you're going to get to journal. You're going to explore how this could possibly happen for 2023. If you don't have paper and pen, you may want to get it now. If you were to decide to go on a trip in your car, let's say I'm in Central Florida and I want to go to Seattle. I'm going to think about, what does Seattle look like? What does Seattle have? Why would I even want to go to Seattle? Maybe my best friend lives in Seattle. Maybe I know there's a bunch of cool women entrepreneurs who are in Seattle and I'm going to get to speak there. Maybe as I think about Seattle, in fact, there's some tourist spots I want to see. And maybe I can go to the coast because that west coast of the US, I could do a little day trip. I'm not even sure if I can, but maybe I could, and I could see the Pacific Ocean from the state, from Washington State. So I start to think of, if I want to go on a trip in my car, where am I going? What does it look like there? What am I going to do there? If we want to grow our businesses, in particular, our dream business, or if we want to grow that business that we were all speaking of, if 2023 was our best year ever, we need a vision. We need to know where we're going. What are you doing? What is the impact you're making? How do you spend your time? What are you selling? Who are you spending your time with? What is the vision of where you're going? So in your car, I recommend that you think of your driver as the visioner. So the 4 people in the car of this metaphor, they're all part of you. The driver, or the visioner, is you. The trunk and what's in it is you. It's all you. These are just 5 different aspects of you. So we're going to look at those 5. So the first is the visioner. The second is the front seat passenger. Now, I call that front seat passenger, let me make sure I give you the right term because I want to tell you what I put it in my book, the navigator. I love that term, the navigator, right? The navigator creates the map of how do you get from where you are to that vision. The navigator plans out the action steps. The navigator part of you may have to go to school, in quotes, entrepreneur school. So some of us have taken classes and learned how to create offers, put together marketing plans, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes we got to do that learning so that we can do that, so we can create that map from where we are. In fact, Nancy Allen in our small group mentioned what she's learned about how to talk about what you do so that people actually want to hear what she has to say, instead of starting off with that she does energy work and tapping, starting off with the problem she helps people solve, because people want to know what's in it for them. What are they all about? She learned that in some, in quotes, I'm going to call it entrepreneur school, wherever we get our training. So if you're not getting some sort of training, you might want to consider the possibility of doing that, because it can be helpful. So the navigator, that front seat passenger, creates a plan and then helps you shift the plan. All right. And just like maps on your phone, Google Maps, if you go one direction and it doesn't work, it'll show you a different path. Your navigator will help you do that as well. The visioner, your driver part, keeps looking to the future, where you're going. I highly recommend on a daily basis, either writing something or reading something about where you're going, so that you call up the feeling, that good feeling that we were all accessing when I asked you, what if 2023 could be your best year ever? It feels so good. If you keep bringing up that feeling, you are pointing your car, if you will, in that direction every day. Your navigator will figure out how to get you back on track if you lose track. Third person in the car, or part of yourself in the back seat, is the back seat driver. Now, some of us have had back seat drivers who are very annoying. Has anybody ever had an annoying backseat driver? Jenny's waving at me. Now, when it comes to your business, have you ever been an annoying backseat driver and said things like, oh, this isn't going to work. You should just pull over. Quit trying. Nobody wants to buy that. This isn't going to work. Oh, I need to do it this way, but I don't want to. Has anybody ever said anything negative to themselves besides me? Raise your hand so we're not all alone. Okay. I'm glad we're not all alone. And we get to learn, if we want to, how to speak to ourselves in ways that are supportive and feel good. So I encourage you, if you haven't already taken on that practice, to do so. The fourth person in the car, or part of yourself, is the action taker. This is the part of you that comes to meetings like this, that writes a business plan, that edits your web page, or talks to your web page person and gets that done. It's the person who has calls with potential clients. So this is the action taker. And actually, Mary, you talked about the consistent inspired action. So this is the part of you that maybe needs a little more love and attention, and maybe needs some work with, like how to be in consistent action. Now, my experience for myself personally is when I'm clear about my vision and I'm excited about it, it is so easy for me to create steps to take, and I will do them. Unless I'm overbooked, which we talked about earlier. I think Emily was talking about being overbooked and feeling like I can't get all the things done. And so in which case we have to look at our whole lives. But that is unique to me probably. So if you are not taking action, what stops you from taking action? That might be something to discover for yourself. If you've got all the other pieces in place, why aren't you taking action? I'd be curious to find out. And the fifth part, which is your trunk. If you've got a bunch of crap in your trunk, that might be stopping you from taking action. It might be part of the messages you tell yourself. It might be a lot of leftover stuff. I'm in the process of redoing my business. I said this at the very beginning. I created a new webpage for a service that I'm launching in October called the Vibrant Entrepreneurs Circle. It is a change from my membership community, which was the moving sidewalk movement. So I'm going to put in quotes baggage from the moving sidewalk movement, not because there was anything wrong with it, but it's like there's this old stuff that I was doing and it's in my trunk. I don't feel completely free, like to just change, start something new. And how do we adjust? So there's that kind of stuff that's in our trunk. There's messages from our childhood, which are in our trunk. All right. And if we've got a lot of baggage in our trunk and it's weighed down, we're never going to leave the driveway. So we need to look at that because that might be what's stopping us from taking action. What's in your trunk? That sounds like Who Moved Your Cheese? Maybe it's the name of a book. What's in your trunk? Be hard to. We'll see. All right, my friends. So we are now going to explore all of this together. Before we do that, does anybody have a comment or a question about how growing your dream business is like going on a trip in a car? Does that all make sense? Comments or questions? Makes sense? Okay. So I'm actually going to time y'all on these questions. I'll give you a certain amount of time. I will tell you how much for each one. It'll be a little different. The first question is, as you imagine 2023, in particular, I'm going to give you 6 to 12 months in the period between April 1st and September 30th of 2023. That's what I want you to think about. April 1st to September 30th. So that gives you some time to get there. All right. So you might want to put that at the top of your page, April 1st to September 30th. The first question is, what are you doing and how are you spending your time? You have 2 minutes. What are you doing and how are you spending your time? And go. Journaling about what are you doing and how are you spending your time in your dream business between April 1st and September 30th. And finish what you're writing. And the next question is also related to your vision. In fact, the first 5 or 6 questions are related to your vision. Second question, what is the impact you're making and how are you making that impact? You have 1 minute. What is the impact you're making and how are you making that impact? And finish what you're writing. Third question, who is paying you and what are they paying you for? You have 1 minute. Who is paying you and what are they paying you for? And finish what you're writing. Fourth question is, who are you being? I'm going to give you 30 seconds for that. Who are you being in that future? Finish what you're writing. And last of those questions, when you imagine that this April 1st to September 30th, and you're doing all that you want to do, how do you feel? You have 30 seconds. How do you feel? And finish what you're writing. So you probably have a list of feeling words, hopefully. I know I had proud and successful and different things. And what I want you to do now is for a minute, you're going to have, for as many as you can do a fill in the blank sentence with, for example, I feel proud because. So you're going to just say, I feel whatever, each thing on your, one into thing on your list at a time, because, then fill in the blank. You have 1 minute. And finish what you're writing. We're going to do one more question before we take a little break, and I'll check in with y'all. All of that up until now, that was all for your visioner. It's all about your vision. Where are you going? Now, this last question before our break is for your navigator, the planner. To get there, all of that stuff that you just wrote down, to get there, what needs to happen? Just brainstorm, no details needed, unless you want to write them. To get there, what needs to happen? You have 2 minutes. Okay, and finish what you're writing. All right. Anything come up for you? Let's just hear from each other. Any thoughts as you did all of that journaling, real quick exercise? Anything come up for anybody? Carrie, are you talking to us?
There it goes. Yeah, didn't unmute for me there. Actually, there was something new, and it just happened right before you said it. How do I explain this really? I weigh and measure my food. So for me, I have a beginning and an ending. And that's what I wrote after I wrote it down. Because I was like, no, my branding 2-minute story, have a beginning and an end. Oh my gosh, that's what I do with my food. The exact same thing. That's what that would look like. Have that beginning and an end. That because I know what that looks like, and it goes right into this. So what would be in that? That's like the outer circle, but what's the meat that's in that inner circle where it gets right to that point? So people will know, oh, that's what Carrie does. Instead of like, well, I heard her, but I'm not sure, So the circle would let me do the meat part of it, but then on the outside of it, I would have the beginning and the end. So they'll know, like, I'll have a call to action at the end.
Oh, cool. Okay, I like the ahas. Great. Anybody else have a thought come up for you? Or a question? Or want feedback about any of your ideas? Well, are we having a quiet group today? I think we came into this with a quiet group because there wasn't a whole lot of chatter before we even started. Elizabeth, what would you like to share?
So I would like to share under the question, who are you being? I think I took it too literally, although maybe not, myself. We had this discussion in the breakout group. How can you be yourself and still be able to do what you need to do? And so that was one of the things that Nancy helped me with, figure out how to tell people who myself is. But who am I? I tell people I'm Papa. I am what I am, and so how can I be myself, which everyone calls being authentic, and be able to have people understand how that is good for them the same way it's good for me, I guess.
Okay, be yourself. I like it.
I'll say something. The things that my navigator needs to do is to get even clearer on what is mine to do and what is someone else's. Because what is mine to do, I believe what is mine to do are the things that I most love about what it is that I do. So to have more time to do the things that I most love and delegate the rest that I can, then that will help me get to that vision a little, not just easier or quicker, but with more fun and excitement and joy.
Mhm. Yes, I love that, Jenny, for you, especially. I know your business relatively intimately, and I know that there's a lot of, as you say, moving parts with everything that you do. And they're the things that you really just do so beautifully and great. Not that you can't do everything, but I know there are things that are not necessarily stuff you enjoy. So when any one of us gets to that point with our businesses, it's nice to be able to hand the things over that don't have us feel that joyful. So great. Good, good, good. So you can feel all those good feelings. Wonderful.
Yes.
Emily, you have your hand raised. Do you want to unmute and share something?
Yeah, thank you. So when I was doing this exercise while preparing dinner, just to myself, not being able to write it down, but what came up for me is that when I pictured the activities that I will do next year, it included not just activities for my business, but also things that I want to do, like making local friends, for example. And that surprised me a little bit because that could be seen as something that might be in competition or take time away from my business. But I know that when I'm feeling good in one area of my life, it blends into the other areas. And so it's important for me to have a full life. And I think that really clarified for me that that's something that's important for me to do, not just personally, but also for my business.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Emily. As I was preparing for this, I realized that I need to also include those types of things. How am I spending my time in my vision? I want to make sure I've got the things that are fun for me to do that feel good and supportive in addition to my business, because I can make my business my whole life. And I'm with you, Emily. I don't really want to do that. So there was a couple other people who unmuted. Was there anyone else who wants to share something?
I will. As I wrote things, they were somewhat mechanical at first. And then I thought, well, I would like to appear as the expert because I live this. And I could teach this in a community college. I could present it as, a semester course. I could beef it up and there'd be a give and take, but everybody would wind up with a finished workbook at the end of the course and be able to keep it. There'd be no grade other than, the self-satisfaction that they have in doing it and be able to talk about it freely.
Cool idea. I like it. It's so fun when we brainstorm for things like that. New ideas pop up. Good job, Mary Jane.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Catrice, I see your hand is up. Would you like to unmute and share?
Sure. Thank you. It's good to meet you. And these are great meditations for the day. I really appreciate it, and I'm listening intently. So there were two things you said that made my gears start going, which was one, what are people paying you for? And the other was the piece of the navigators, a piece of what does it look like when your business through a certain point of next year, what is it, April through September, look very successful. And it occurred to me, I realized it kind of helped me focus on people are not paying me for my service. I'm a writer and I do a little hard to explain. I'm still working on my quick pitch, but it's they're workshops and they're writing workshops which help people learn trauma-informed skills while using nature and mindfulness techniques. And it occurred to me, I thought that what people were paying for were to learn the skills, The people are not paying to learn the skills. The people are drawn to my services because they are drawn to me. I am my business. And the success of my business is hinged on, as I was listening to you, I was thinking, I needed to reframe because the success of my business really is hinged on how much I walk my own walk. I am my own marketing. I am, people are attracted to whatever the calmness is. They want to know where that comes from. And helping people find their own alignment and sense of purpose, really, it's a partnership. It comes from within them, but it also helps if I know what mine is, because then I'm able to impart, I'm able to model what I do for myself. And then people go, because it connects them to what they can do or already doing for themselves to amplify that. So I really appreciated this because it just made me reframe and focus down a little more, and maybe I'll get my pitch down a little faster. But thank you very much.
I'm glad you joined us, Catrice. Come back as often as you want. And I look forward to hearing more about you and from you, should you do so. So I'm going to say one last thing. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. I am launching the Vibrant Entrepreneur Circle. And I'd like to take a minute to tell y'all what it includes and how you can try it. Is that okay? All right, fantastic. So first of all, it's a membership community. So you get community, you get training, you get opportunities for feedback. It's only going to be $47 a month. And you can try your first month for $1, but that's not what matters. What matters is you'll get 2 monthly classes. One is going to be the Authentically Vibrant class, where you're going to get to practice being present in your body, expanding how you move and how you speak. And you get to practice what you say so that when you talk about what you do and when you're in the world, you're authentically vibrant. The second class is a business growth class, and there'll be different topics every month related to manifesting clients, marketing, using Facebook, selling, different things that we all need to grow our businesses. So you'll be building relationships with the other members, growing, becoming more authentically vibrant in those classes that are going to be on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of the month from 4 to 5:15 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 to 2:15 p.m. Pacific. And you also get registration for any of my online gatherings or workshops that are that are like 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, that sort of workshop-y type thing. And I do usually 1 or 2 a quarter, and they're usually really well received. So again, you can try it for 1 month for $1. And I think at this point, I should probably put the link in the chat. So I'm going to do that. And then I just want to say, I would love to see y'all try it and stay connected. I also have the Vibrant Entrepreneurs Facebook group, which is free, and you're welcome to hang out with me there. And I appreciate the opportunity to be with y'all and to talk about what 2023 could look like. And I hope that all of our 2023s are even better than we imagined today.
Thank you, Kathryn. I'm going to ask everybody to unmute quickly and loudly. Let's clap and yell for Kathryn and thank her.
Yay!
And I am going to thank anyone who's watching this. So if you're watching this live or watching the replay, if you'd like to join us for one of our 11 free Zoom meetings a month, or in person in Richmond, Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia, or our new meeting starting in Tallahassee, Florida on November 6th, comment below and I'll tell you how to do that. You can also go to my website, opwgc.com, and find out all about our community. And once this video is over, I'm going to go in and add the link that Kathryn mentioned to her new Vibrant Entrepreneur Circle. So thank you all for watching. Sorry, clicked on the wrong thing.